Pokemon Evolution booster boxes are going insane right now. It's like Blastoise use that surf, and the Pokemon market for Evolution boxes is just riding that wave. Surf is getting bigger and bigger. Climbing before Christmas, and they've spiked even more in 2021. Evos is one of the most printed sets ever, and it's only about 5 years old right now. Boxes are selling for over $1,000 on eBay, and in today's video I'm talking about if this price tag is justified. So to explore this, what we need to do is look at what are the chase cards in the set worth, and if these correlate to the price of the box. And I'm going to look to see if the booster box price is reflecting that of the cards that you can pull, or if the price is based more on one of two things: the experience to open the booster box and there's nostalgia behind it, or if people are still buying these to hold on to them, thinking that long term they're going to be worth even more. So 1,000 Evolution booster boxes, are they worth it? Let's find out.
Are you ready for shredding?
Okay, so let's go back to when Evolutions first came out. It was 2016. Pokemon Go had just released. Pokemon was probably the most popular it had ever been since 1999, 2000. The argument could be made it was possibly more popular in 2016, but there's a bunch of other metrics we'd have to look at to make an objective decision on that. But what we do know is in 2016, Pokemon fever was at an all-time high. You had this influx of nostalgia collectors, people like my age who had grown up with Pokemon, that maybe phased out, Pokemon Go hit, and literally I remember back in 2016, people on a Friday and Saturday night went out down the town, going for a drink, out clubbing. People were out on Pokemon Go, because I remember there was a couple of weekends where I would be out in the car, parking up at a hotspot where I live for Pokemon Go, not exaggerating, hundreds of other cars parked up in the same spot, and then at midnight, just after midnight, I would drive home, and on that drive home, I wouldn't see a single bar that was full. Everyone was playing Pokemon Go. So what Pokemon Go did was bring a lot of these lapsed fans, not necessarily collectors, but lapsed Pokemon fans who had grown up with Pokemon when they were a teenager, grown up, forgot about Pokemon, and then bam, this mobile phone app hits, and it's like the most popular thing again. As a result of Pokemon Go's popularity, you had a ton, and I mean a ton, of people returning back to Pokemon card collecting. And what do people want? They want that nostalgia, they want that hit of the childhood, they want to relive their favourite childhood memories. And how do they do that? Pokemon, absolute genius, Evolutions. Basically, a base set reprint with the modernised card style and a few other goodies thrown in there, like reused promo art and full art for the Blastoise, the Charizard, the Venusaur, the Dragonite, the list goes on. Evolutions was the first set to focus around Gen 1 and focus around all the Pokemon since like probably the Wizards of the Coast era itself. So Pokemon was super popular, the market was super hot all the way 2016 into 17, but then we started seeing a dip, and I've covered this dip on the channel before. For those Pokemon never goes down, Pokemon does go down. You have those retracers, you have those cooling off periods. And this wasn't just for Pokemon cards, this was for Pokemon in general. Detective Pikachu had been out, Pokemon Go had been and gone. The whole hype around the franchise of Pokemon started to die down a little bit. As a result, less people interested in the cards. Not as many people to buy, not as much demand, not as much competition, the price started to drop. Because Evolutions was so printed and so widely distributed amongst collection sets, tins, chests, the booster box itself, people started to kind of get a little bit fed up of Evolutions. What we're seeing is this really cool thing. Once all those lapsed fans had kind of entered and then left, there was still a ton of Evolutions product out there, and come 2018, we'd been kind of overexposed to this Evolution set. It almost became that thing of like, in, you know, when you'd see an Evolutions pack, people kind of didn't care for it because they were just that fed up with it. They wanted something new, and it was just overexposure. Because that demand started to drop, Obviously, Pokemon Company had all this stock left to shift, so people just got kind of bent out on evolutions. Demand for Evos was waning because of a lot of these collectors leaving the hobby, and the kind of long-term true collectors who kind of stayed around weren't really that bothered about it. So of course, the price of them it wasn't climbing, it was stagnating. You could easily pick them up at retail, and no one 3 years ago, 4 years ago, would have probably ever have thought that evolutions would be in the boom that we're seeing now in 2021. I don't need to say it, but here I am in 2021. Pokemon is probably hotter than it was in 2006. Not probably. Pokemon cards is hotter now in 2020, 2021 than it was in 2016. So we have another wave of collectors, people lapsed from the Pokemon franchise, coming back, wanting that nostalgia again, wanting to relive the childhood memories, wanting to relive that thrill, that excitement of opening Pokemon cards. But a lot of people don't want to be paying $20,000+ for a base set booster box. People want to be getting that nostalgia hit, but on a budget price. And how can they do that? Evolutions. Now, even though we know that Evolutions has been out for 5 years now, the people who are just returning to the hobby in 2020, 2021, they don't know Evolutions exist. They don't know that Evolutions came out 5 years ago. They don't know the stigma that was attached to the product in kind of 2017, 18, 19. To them, this is a brand new product, and it's like the coolest thing ever. They get to relive, opening that base set. They get to do it for an affordable price, or what was affordable back in 2020. They get to see this cool art of the full art along with the old art of the base set. It kind of ticks all the boxes for anybody wanting that nostalgia fix. And to those guys, to those collectors, this is brand new. So what does this mean? More demand for the product. So what's going to happen? The supply is out there. There is a ton of Evolutions out there, but all of a sudden there's this influx of demand. So anyone who's got these Evolutions boxes on auction prices, with more demand on auction listings on eBay, with more demand, what happens? There's more competition between buyers. So slowly that price started to climb up in 2020. And yeah, a lot of it probably did come around the time from Logan Paul announcing the base set stuff. That just got a lot more people interested in Pokemon again. And even though Evolutions is never going to have the same value as what base set is, for people, like I say, who just want to open cards for fun, they were coming back to the hobby. They see these crazy expensive prices for base sets. They see something very similar in Evolutions, a lot more affordable. People are going to flock to that just for that fun of opening. But not only do people want to open this product, they want to do something that they couldn't do when they were a kid. I know that I never ever got to do this when I was a kid, and that was open a booster box. When I was a kid, I was lucky to get a couple of packs a week. I used to get, when I was really little, I can't remember getting pocket money. It was just when I wanted something, I would ask for it. Sometimes I would get it, sometimes I wouldn't. I do remember at some point getting pocket money, and I could afford 2 packs, so I must have been getting £5. I could get 2 packs, but that was it. All my money was gone. So most weeks I would get at least 1 pack of cards, sometimes 2, and that was it for the week. Special occasions, yeah, I'd get something. Birthdays, Christmases, days out, things like that. I would get extra cards, but my budget for Pokemon cards back then was 1, at a stretch, 2 packs a week. As an adult with some disposable income, what can we do? We can go and buy a booster box and do something that we never got to do as a kid, and that's literally rip through 36 packs, an entire box, all in one go. So people aren't just paying for booster packs. People are paying for that experience to be able to rip the seal on a booster box, do something that they never got to do as a kid, and just basically binge, splurge, and go crazy on a Pokemon opening pack spree. Ripping packs and making stacks, it ain't just a catchphrase. This is a completely different experience to opening those 1-2 packs a week. So while this set, while Evolutions has been mass produced, and it's probably it's arguably the second most printed set behind base set. Booster boxes right now aren't still being printed. For a long time, booster packs were being put into collection sets and tins and things like that, but actual booster boxes being manufactured in a factory, as far as I'm aware, Pokemon Company isn't actually producing these anymore, and I don't think Evolutions is currently still in print, but there's still a ton of stock out there. But the reason the boxes are so expensive is, I think, two reasons: that nostalgic experience of being able to just rip through an entire box, and also it's a seal booster box, long-term investment opportunity. Go back 3 years ago, would anybody have thought that Evolutions boxes were going to be hitting like $1,000+ now? I don't think so. But here we are, 2021, boom, here we are. So I suppose the big takeaway, what I'm trying to say, the big takeaway of why this price climb has happened is the demand. More people coming into the hobby, more people wanting that set. Because we've got restrictions around the world with lockdowns and things like that, distribution isn't as efficient as what it usually would be. Stores aren't stocking them as much, but that demand is probably at an all-time high for this set. Because the demand's there, the people who do have this stock are able to get more money for them. And as long as people keep paying that $1,000 price, people are going to keep selling them for $1,000. We saw something similar to this last year with base set unlimited Charizards, PSA 9 Charizards, one of the highest population cards ever. Over 4,000 of them as of last year, like well over 4,000. That sort of crazy price climb. Why? Demand. Yes, it is not a common item, but it's not exactly rare to get a Charizard unlimited in PSA 9. But because demand for a short period of time was so high for it, so fever pitch, the price just spikes in that time, and then when the demand's not there, the price drops back down. This is exactly what's happened with Evolutions. It doesn't make sense, but when you stop and kind of think about it, it kind of does. An increase in demand means more buyers. Like I say all the time, more buyers, more competition. The more competition, the higher those prices go. So this can kind of be compared to that base set unlimited jump that we saw last year, but that is a whole different beast to analyze itself. So make sure to hit that subscribe button to be notified of when that video drops and to see more videos like this one. So what we're going to do now is move on to looking at, do the individual card values at a PSA 9, a PSA 10 match up to what the box price is? If they do kind of correlate, then we can see, right, there's value in that box. People are wanting to get it, open it, based on what the individual cards are worth to try and obviously make a profit. If the price kind of doesn't correlate of the box to what the individual cards are worth, then we can summarize that people are basically buying this box to have the experience of opening an entire box of Evolutions, reliving that childhood, getting that nostalgic shot, 50cc strong, straight up the, or people think it's going to be a long-term investment. So let's jump over to Pokemon Price and have a look at some of the key chase cards and what they're worth, PSA 9, PSA 10.
So we'll start off with the big boy himself, Charizard, PSA 10, only 184 out there. PSA 9, PSA 8, absolutely thousands out there. And how does the price look for these? Well, PSA 10, just over $3,000 was the last recorded sale. Just short of $4,000 there, so $3,935. Just yet a dollar under 4,000 there for PSA 10. And if we go back a little bit more, looks like the prices were a little bit higher. Maybe that was an anomaly, but yeah, the prices maybe were a little bit higher and they've kind of came down. But even for PSA 9s, let's look at that price jump. So you're looking to pay 20 times, over 20 times the price there. And the PSA 9 prices kind of fluctuate a little bit. They were around 500, then a couple going for 700 to 900. But you get an idea there of the price disparity between 9s and 10s. And where are we for 9s? Now, as of 2021, price have dropped a fair bit again. So maybe it's hovering, I was going to say 400, but you're like 280 for one there. Auctions compared to buy it nows, the prices are a little bit all over. But you're looking at a solid price there. If you were able to pull a PSA 10, then yeah, you've made like, what, 3 times your investment. But look at the statistics. Very unlikely to get a PSA 10 to gamble, but there's still going to be some more of those cards coming through. Then we move on to the Charizard EX Holo here. And again, we can check the prices. So 10s, not massively expensive. Not even $200 for the last couple of sales. 9s, $60, $57, $78, $75. And if we look at the PSA reportings there, 9's a strong, not a strong number. Maybe he's likely to get a 10. Good chance of getting a 10 on that there. But again, the return isn't massive on that particular card. So we move over to the M Charizard Holo, and PSA 10s doesn't look too difficult. It's, there's more 10s than there is 9s and 8s combined. So let's see what the price are there. That looks like an anomaly to me, because we look at the 10s. We had one go for 200, 355, 250, 225. So you can kind of probably say on average you'd be looking at maybe, the last two have gone for a little bit more, but you're going to be looking at, like, let's say around, I would have said 200, but anywhere between, I suppose, $200 and $300 would be fair. PSA 9, not a couple again, maybe it's around that $100 mark on the Charizard. So we move over to the Blastoise here. And PSA 10, highest price recently was 227, but low hundreds is a little bit more accurate. Maybe it's around that $140 mark. Might be a good kind of ballpark average figure for a 10. 9s, not too, massive difference there. $28 compared to $75. 120, PSA 10 sold for less than a 9. You have to take these with a pinch of salt sometimes. Sometimes the shill bid, sometimes stuff doesn't get paid for. But again, PSA 10's higher than a 9. So it's likely you could get a 10. But you're probably looking at, what, $120 cards, being kind of generous a little bit there. A bit more expensive here, the Full Art Blastoise. Again, PSA 10, higher population than the 9, well, than all the others combined. So it shouldn't be too difficult to get a 10. There's good sales data here on this. So you can see 200, 160, big drop there, which looks suspicious. 167, 212. So if you were to kind of average this out to be between, you could maybe hold out on a buy it now. $200 on that's probably a fair estimate. PSA 9s here, probably looking at a good $70, $80 as an average point there. Moving over to the Venusaur Full Art here. Plenty of 10s. You can see the population report there. Not too difficult to grade by the looks of it. And again, let's try and get a good average here. 180. Maybe it's anywhere between $150, $200 for the 10. And then you're looking at 9s there, around the $50 mark. The other Venusaur, less value. Dragonite, big popular Pokemon, but not massively expensive here. PSA 10, PSA 9, it's probably a toss-up as to what you'd be able to get. The Full Art Dragonite here, stronger in the 10s. Obviously, more people will be submitting the Full Arts, but, good chance of getting a 10, a 9, very likely. You've got to probably be unlucky to get anything below a 9 on this card. PSA 10, though, you probably just get like $150 for it. Probably is fairly easy. PSA 9, 50, you probably average around, say, $50, $60 for that. If it's a 9. Moving on to the Mewtwo, not many of them. We'll jump over to the EX Mewtwo. PSA 10, not too many more PSA 10s than PSA 9s. Again, not a really particularly pricey card. And last up, the Full Art Mewtwo. PSA 10, 491, PSA 9, so again, probably be a toss-up between what you could get there. Average price of a 10, 150-ish. So, there's literally only really, if you're looking at those PSA 10 cards, there's only that Charizard that is worth big money, and that's purely because it's so hard to grade. PSA 9s, if you're going to assume that you're getting them, I don't know how many of these really good pulls you'd get. 10 would be probably being overly optimistic. So, yeah, it'd be a bit of a toss-up as to whether the pulls you're going to get, if you don't get that big Charizard, bit of a toss-up as to if you'd make more money from the pulls as opposed to just selling the cards individually. So, what do you think? Does the box price match up with the card price? Let me know down in the comments below what you think. And while you're there, mega punch that thumbs up button.
So, like I said, some of these cards are super hard to grade. That Charizard in PSA 10 is the hardest card in the set by far. Probably one of the hardest cards to grade, maybes ever in Pokemon. If you can think of one harder, and I know there will be cards with low population reports, but I'm just thinking because Charizard's, the evolutions are so mass produced, it kind of, you know, there's more cards out there. But if you can think of a card that's been harder to grade, then please do let me know it down in the comments below. That's why the PSA 10 for a modern card is so much higher, and why the price difference between PSA 9 and PSA 10 is massive. I mean, look at how many there are of PSA 9 cards. There's about the same as what the Unlimited Charizard is, and Evolutions is a set that's, like I say, 5 years old. It shows you how much of this stuff has actually been printed. So for me, I think what this comes down to is, yes, there's some super valuable cards in there, and people want to try and take that risk and pull some of those biggies, the Charizard in particular, to either have for their own collection because it's so rare, or have it in PSA 10, or be able to try and get some of these cards, grade them, sell them on, make some money. But I think a lot of what's driving this price at the minute is just people wanting that experience again, people being excited about Pokemon, people being excited about collecting Pokemon cards, and people just want to have a bit of fun, relive those memories, relive that childhood with Pokemon that they're familiar with. I enjoy opening modern Pokemon when I'm pulling Pokemon that I know. It's why I enjoyed Hidden Fates so much, because the base set of Hidden Fates, it's all Pokemon that I know. When I'm opening something like Shiny Star V and the names aren't written in English, I could literally open a pack of cards and I don't recognise a single Pokemon. Even though I've played every mainline game apart from Sun and Moon, there's a lot of Pokemon that I just don't have a connection with, I just don't resonate with, and they just aren't very memorable. Whereas you show me any of those Generation 1 and Generation 2 Pokemon with no name there, Shreddy can name them. Humble brag. And what a thing to brag about. So let me know what you think about the Evolutions booster box prices. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed today's video, but do let me know what you think about these prices down below. My overall takeaway is, because the demand is so high and it's kind of being driven up what appears to be organically, an Evolutions box being so expensive right now, to me, makes sense. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video today, Shredheads. Hit that subscribe button to see more market analysis and Pokemon collecting tips and tricks from Shreddy. On screen now, you can go and check out my other videos talking about the market, giving you some tips on how to make money with Pokemon cards. But until next time, remember that collecting ain't no gimmick, it's a lifestyle.